Hello, I'm Shan from Simplex, and today we're going to talk about something called monitors. But I'm going to give you a different perspective of monitors. What is a monitor? Well, like the wallpaper right behind me, if you see, and it'll be on your screen too. A monitor is basically a window to your virtual world. Isn't that what it is? And that is what we're going to discuss right now. How can you enhance this window and get a clearer view of the virtual world? Firstly, I'm going to discuss about the resolution of a monitor. Resolution means the number of pixels in the monitor horizontally and vertically that decides the clarity of the monitor. For example, HD is 1280 into 720, around 1 million pixels. Full HD 1920 into 1080, around 2 million pixels. Quad HD 2560 into 1440, around 4 million pixels. And 4K guys, or Ultra HD, is 3840 into 2160, which is around 8 million pixels, otherwise known as megapixels. What this essentially means is that out of any of these resolutions, if you have a wallpaper or a picture or a graphic in the monitor, for 4K you'll have 8 million pixels defining it. Obviously, for a 27-inch monitor, suppose, if you have a 4K resolution, the clarity of the picture will be much more because 8 million pixels will be defining it, will be drawing the picture. On the other hand, if you have an HD monitor of 27 inches, only a million pixels will be drawing it. Obvious fact from this is pixelation of pictures. But guys, what you must also know is the higher the resolution of the picture, or the monitor rather, the better the graphic card you need. You cannot have a GTX 950 driving a 4K monitor and playing games on it. You'll at least need a 980 Ti or two 980 Ti's. So buy a monitor and accordingly buy a graphic card. Do not buy a superb monitor and a bad graphic card, or a super graphic card and a bad monitor. Balance between the two. TN versus IPS. Now if you want to know in details about these technologies, do drop in a comment and we'll make a video on it. Over here, I'm going to touch the basics and simplify things for you. TN basically boils down to high refresh rate, faster response times, and thus less ghosting. The picture on the screen shows you essentially what ghosting is all about. But terrible color reproduction and viewing angles, guys. Have you ever noticed, shifting to the left results in abysmal viewing angles on a TV, or going up or going down? And to get the perfect picture, you have to stick your nose right in the dead center of the television or monitor. That is a TN display, guys. Now, switch to IPS. Visually, IPS panels are way more attractive, guys, because they have spot-on color reproduction, as in much better colors. I wouldn't say accurate colors, much better colors. To get accurate colors, you need to calibrate the monitor. Anyway, to know more about calibration, drop in a comment, we'll make a video on that too. Now, the difference between TN and IPS is obvious because it has better color reproduction and better viewing angles, IPS. But what it does not have, or does lack, is it has lower response times, guys. And you see ghosting in IPS panels. Though new monitors like the Acer XP2708U challenges that notion with reduced motion blur, as this is a IPS panel with 144 Hz and pretty fast response times. The next use case scenario, guys, is the refresh rate. Now, 60 Hz versus 120 Hz versus 144 Hz defines the number of times a picture goes and comes in your monitor in 1 second. So essentially 60 Hz means 60 pictures comes and goes from your monitor in 1 second. 144 Hz on the other hand means 144 pictures comes and goes from the monitor in 1 second. Now, why can you not feel the difference? Because something called persistence of motion in your eyes. So anything beyond 10 FPS is considered moving by your eyes. And 144 Hz or 60 Hz is well beyond 10 Hz. But let's get into the nitty-gritties of it. 60 Hz means when you move the cursor, you'll feel it smooth. But 144 Hz on the other hand if you move the cursor, you'll feel it is a lot smoother and motion blur is a lot less, guys. So 60 Hz has quite a lot of motion blur, and 144 Hz can only be reached by monitors which have really fast response time, something that I covered in the last section. But in order to buy a 144 Hz monitor or a 60 Hz monitor, what you must remember is, like I said before, the graphic card. So if you have a 60 Hz monitor and if you're playing a game at 100 FPS, it makes no difference, guys, because you cannot actually perceive the difference between 60 FPS and 100 FPS on a 60 Hz monitor, because anything above 60 FPS is going to lead to screen tearing, but anything below 60 FPS is going to lead to screen stuttering, something that the images on the screen is going to make it very clear for you. But to address all these discrepancies, what the GPU manufacturers have done is, you see, the refresh rate or the refreshing of the screen is controlled by the monitor. Here comes in the new technologies called the G-Sync and the FreeSync by NVIDIA and AMD respectively. What they do is they take control of the refreshing of the monitor. To know more in details about G-Sync and FreeSync, guys, like I said, drop in a comment and I'll surely cover it for you guys. So that's it from the refresh rate section. But lastly, and this is not really important, but I thought I'd cover it. Well, if you want a wall-mounted monitor, then you need to see whether it has a VESA or visa mounting option. If you want a swivel and pan option, do check before buying your monitor so that it has those options on its stand. So these things are use case scenario dependent. Whatever you need, these added benefits, do check it on your monitor before you buy them so that it fits perfectly your use case scenario. So guys, after watching this video, I hope you'll be able to make an informed decision next time when you buy a monitor, because everything, the basics have been covered. And thank you, Raul, for asking the question about monitors. That is what I covered in this video. If any of you have any other such questions, do fire them right in the comments and I'll make sure that we make a video on this. But lastly, guys, like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but leave comments with positive criticism as to how can we improve ourselves. And most importantly, guys, subscribe to our channel, as that helps us out a lot. Over and out.